Hello and welcome back to another Final Table commentary. If at any point in time you find yourself not caring for the commentary, there'll be a link in the description down below to the video and KalipokerTV poker replays, so you can go check out the action in some silence. With all that being said, today we got a 5:30 from the New Year's series. We got pads on the final table: Smilly the Hero, Aziz, T-Arc, Natrum, Kappa, Jur, Yback. We got Bad Day, we got Sir Orlando, and Smilly with that ace in the 4 on the button is going to go for an open, and we'll see what the fuck happens. We got 15.5 grand for the victor. Pretty good payday for a 5:30 buy-in. Aziz will let go of the queen and the jack, seeing the big size. T might also just let go of the king 9. Smilly says big size, and the other players say fold. T deep in the tank. Oh my fucking god, cat. Come on, Goose. T finds the fold. Kappa's got an ace and a jack. Sir Orlando with the ace 8 suited will find the fold most likely. Yback with the 8-9 will let it go. King 6 for Natrum in the big blind. I don't think we defend, but we are getting a fair price. It's just an under the gun open. We got a good reason just to find the fold. So we got 2K for the first player to leave, 2,600 for the next player in 8th. So only about a $500 ladder. That's not too much. One buy-in for the tournament. Dee-ba-dee-doo, Natrum, do something. Would be interesting to see a flop here. I just think we need to preserve chips, don't we? Our king could be dominated. Our diamonds could be dominated. Do-do-do-do. The king and the 6 aren't too connected. Natrum is deep in the tank, and they do just lay it down. Ace and a queen for pads. We'll see some sort of action from them. They got 14.5 blinds. Do we just rip it in? Natrum with a couple of 9s in the small blind. Pads goes for the open to 2 bigs. I think Natrum rips. Aziz with a couple of 3s. We'll think about it for a second. And they might land on the fold. They might play call, but the fold comes in. Rip it in, Natrum. Natrum goes deep in the tank again. There's the raise, the 3-bet to 7.5 blinds. It's an interesting sizing. I suppose they keep themselves with about 4, almost 5 blinds, just in case Kappa goes all in and then Pads goes all in. We do get the all in and the call. Ace on the flop, pretty well deads Natrum. And Natrum is Gonzo Alonzo. So everybody makes about 500 bucks. Bad Day has an ace and a queen in the bag. T with an ace from the cutoff in 7 blinds might rip it all in. They might also just look for a better spot. Smilly could go for the open with the ace 7-0, and they do. So T will fold ace 4. Bad Day in the bag. They could go for a 3-bet, but they land on the call option. We get an 8-5-3 flop. Smilly's got some backdoor straight flush draws. That's kind of cool to see. Not the best flop for ace queen, no spade, but I think we call the small bet. 10 of spades on the turn. Bad card for the ace and the queen. Smilly says that's a good card to bet. Question is what size? Probably going large. Smilly actually checks her back, makes a pair of 7s on the river. That would be good for the pot. Bad Day is just having a bad day with the ace and the queen, but they kept the pot small. No 3-bet pre-flop, just a call on the flop. Turn goes check, check, river goes check, check, and Smilly takes a small pot. Then they get an ace and a jack. They'll raise it on up. Sir Orlando with the ace 7 Suited in the big will find an easy fold after Kappa rips in the 10s. And I don't know what to do with the ace and the jack facing the 12.5 blind jam. Surely 10-10 goes all in here. Whoa, Kappa plays call. Kappa plays call with a 10 and the 10. Sir Orlando can come along to the flop now. Look for a couple of clubs or some shit. 9-6-2 flop. Kappa with the over pair. Sir Orlando. Backdoor straight draw. Backdoor flush draw. Smiley with 2 overs. Got a big bet from Kappa. 6 blinds into 7.5. And that will likely just take it down. That it does. Ace-9 for pads in the big. We get a couple of 4s for Smiley under the gun though. Go for the open. Aziz with a couple of 8s. 1 seat to their left. Whoa, the 8s hit the muck. I thought we were playing call, but it isn't under the gun open. Smiley's getting away with some murder here. Ace-9 for pads is also in a weird spot. Do we just fold here? I don't fucking know.
I don't fucking know either.
What's up?
I'm coming.
I decided to do a shorter one, so.
Oh.
And I might do the 4-hour one a little later. Insta story says Smiley.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I should have checked first. Okay, sorry. Push it more. Thank you.
So Pads is playing with his Instagram, taking a video right now. Smiley calls him out for it. Pads says
he's live streaming on Instagram?
No, I don't think he live streams, but he just makes videos.
Oh.
Little shorts or whatever they're called on Instagram.
Oh, reels.
Bingo.
YouTube guy. Shorts.
I don't know.
You might be the only person who calls them shorts and not. Well, I mean, I think when it comes to Instagram, most people call them reels, but TikToks are feel like the OG. Well, they are the OG. That's why all the others did it.
Why back gets one through with the ace and the 7. First and foremost, fuck TikTok.
Pros and cons.
Nope, fuck it. That's not a controversial take.
No, clearly as it's about to be banned in the US. But I mean, I think my thing is, like, obviously, like, there's something about their algorithm that is very, like, it's stronger than other platforms. Like, that's like a well-known thing, you know, like the For You pages. It seems
Sorry
to be
cut you off, but fuck TikTok. We got a race from Pads with the king and the 5. Ace queen goes for this small ass 3-bet, and Pads is in a weird spot, and they find the fold correctly. Fuck TikTok. We'll leave it at that. Smiley with a king and a queen of the same suit.
I was just saying it's not necessarily worse than other social media.
That's true.
So it's just kind of like, fuck social media.
Fuck social media is the correct take.
And I think that, that is a take you hold. Except YouTube.
Yeah, except YouTube's fun. No, to be honest, I do check in on the other ones, but
yeah.
We get a queen jack all in from T-Arc. That's bad news for them. They're going to need a club, just a jack now. They don't find it. Smiley makes the flush on the river.
None of them are even good anymore. Like Instagram, how you don't see your friends' posts. It's not in chronological order. And then Twitter. I feel like the For You page on Twitter is just like, it's not actually for you. I just see a lot of like, well, I mean, it's funny because I think they have it set up so that Elon's tweets show up on everyone's For You page. Because
he owns it.
Because I see his shit all the time and I never interact with it. So I'm like, what the fuck? Go away, Elon.
Ace-6 goes for a bet here with 3 of a kind.
Well, that makes sense. He's got 3 of a kind.
Smiley finds the call, looking for a 5.
You call him Smelly, but it's Smile.
Smiley. There's 2 L's?
Could still be Smile, maybe.
You know what I think? Okay, so, do you know Tonka?
Yeah.
I think he calls him Smilly.
Oh, trust Tonka. Don't trust me. I don't fucking do anything.
I think it was Tonka. Somebody calls him Smilly. Anyways, Aziz got an ace and a 10 of the same suit. They've raised it on up and they'll take it down pre.
You know what I found out?
What's that?
I think that old PC can run GTA.
Like at home?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Aziz got a king and an 8. They might go for another open.
And that's where we're thankful that it's an old game.
Yeah, that computer's not useless.
Might not run well, but
No, it wouldn't run it well, but
I might try it.
may as well. Blinds go up. Super exciting. Ace 5 for bad day on the button. Pads with an ace and a 4 in the big blind. We could see a little bit of action
Batty.
here. What did I say?
Bad day.
Yeah, bad day's all in.
Well, I just read gray back as gay back, so.
You know what? I was calling them Y back. The first thing that came to my mind was grade 3 wide back.
That's so interesting. Well, the GR3, I get that.
Yeah.
Oh. Grade 3 Y back.
Doesn't make sense, but gray back, that makes plenty of sense. I'm glad you corrected me there.
I
What
said
about Sir
gay
Orlando?
back.
Does Sir Orlando look like Sir Orlando?
That's probably as good as you can get it.
Pads
Sir
does find the
Orlando.
fold with the ace 4. That's good news for them. I mean, it would have been a flip.
I mean, like, really, I think it could be S. Orlando. Like, that's his last name. Or their last name.
Mm-hmm.
First initial. Lame name, if so. Sorry. As yours is Brendan Zink, I'm pretty sure. Or is it Brendan Donk?
On YouTube?
No, on poker.
Poker's Brendan Donk. Ace Queen for grayback will jam and take it down pre. Got a couple of Jack 10s though that hit the muck.
You know what I found out?
What's that?
I could have revived my horse on Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, most likely.
There's a horse reviver's, like, tonic.
Bad day finds the open with the Jack and the 10.
Daddy!
So yesterday Michaela was playing Red Dead Redemption and she kind of suicided by walking towards the train as it was driving by.
I thought that I thought there was a bigger space between a fence and the train tracks.
It was very clear, as we see another 3-bet from Smilly. It was very clear that there was no room for both her and the horse.
And then I tried getting out, but I don't know how to reverse a horse. And so the train wasn't moving at the time, and then the train decided to start moving.
We got a couple of kings for grayback. They just go for the all-in sizing. Sir Orlando might find the fold with the 8s. The vertical boobs. Capo with the ace and the jack in the big blind. I don't know what to do with it. 8s hit the muck. Ace jack does call. We're looking for another jack or an ace. Ace on the turn. Grayback. An unfortunate cooler is dead.
Peace out.
7 remain. We got a couple of ace kings. This shouldn't be too exciting, but you know what? There's actually potentially some learning lessons here because Aziz has a big stack. Smilly has a big stack. Aziz might play call with the ace king suited. We might also see a small 3-bet come in from Aziz.
Speaking of learning lessons, just to finish defending myself with this horse thing and what I've learned.
It was a clear suicide. There's a big 3-bet actually, 6.2 blinds.
I didn't want to lose my horse. I was trying to reverse, I couldn't, and then I thought, just push against the fence and hope we can ride this out. And my guy got pretty battered. And then I go to jump on my horse, and then I look, and he's on the other side of the fence, and with the sheep, and just fucking dead. The only thing it can let...
The horse got yeeted. It got hit by the train.
And then pushed through the fence. Somehow the fence didn't break.
So Smilly's 4-bets here.
And I lost my hat.
The hat was just sitting beside the dead horse.
I did get it back, but I couldn't figure out how at first because I grabbed the saddle and I was worried if I jumped the fence that the farmer was going to yell at me, but he just was trying to get some money. And I'm like, bro, don't you see my horse just died? What money? I have to go buy a horse. Except I didn't because they stole my other one.
Aziz 5 bets we're going to get this all in pre-flop. We're looking for some spades. Or some diamonds. Spade! Spade!
Well, that made it exciting.
Sorry for your ears. That might have been a little bit too loud.
You can adjust that in post.
Ace King versus Ace King, and I'm not going to adjust it.
I feel like that's how the poker YouTubers seem to do their things, because how many times do you have a video on and I'm just sitting there and then someone's like, ah! Blowing out the sound on the mic.
We got a flush draw versus top pair. This is kind of fun. Aziz has the big stack now, and they're going to put some pressure on Kappa.
Just one more thing about my horse. I just wanted to say I spent $150 on that horse just to murder it.
A waste of money. But it was funny.
It wasn't suicide because the horse didn't do it. The horse went where I let it.
Oh, we get a raise and a
Technically, it's
jam on the
murder.
turn? It was kind of murder.
By the train? Why'd it start moving?
No,
There's
I meant
people there!
I meant you murdered your horses. Bad Day has an ace and a queen.
didn't
Sir
mean
Orlando has the
to.
ace 9 suited. I might 3-bet all in here. There's the 3-bet all in.
Something bad that happened after you went to sleep was I was just riding around and I came across some wild horses and I thought, oh wow, maybe horses will be good money.
We're looking for a 9 here. Non-diamond. We're going to lose Sir Orlando.
You're just not supposed to kill horses. So I just killed a horse for nothing and I felt awful. I think I had to stop playing after that.
So we lose another body. We're down to 5. Bad
Any
Day
Red
has
Dead players here?
So I don't play Red Dead, so like I've watched a few videos. I know a little bit about it. It seems kind of like you're just running around on a horse doing little missions.
Well, yeah, you're like an outlaw. So like I think that's kind of like the lifestyle of an outlaw, you know? Like you do just kind of run around on a horse and do your little missions.
Sorry, we got a very interesting hand.
Well, that's
Top
Oh.
and middle pair? I don't know how to vocalize.
Flush
third pair.
draw.
Pair and a flush draw and a straight draw as well to the 8. Bad Day's got a lot going on here. We see a small bet and a call. Queen of Diamonds on the river.
That's beautiful.
It was a beautiful card.
To tie poker into Red Dead, I came across the challenge where you play poker. But it was right after Brendan went to sleep, so I had no support. And I probably could have won a lot more money. We'll have to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe that's a good way to make money. I don't know.
As we see Bad Day go for the 12 blind bet, Kappa quickly calls. Nice pot for Bad Day. I'm excited to see them pick up some chips.
Reel it in.
65 blinds for them. Smilly with the 10-4 in the short stack has to let go on the button. King 3 for Aziz will rip and take it down pre. Pads with an ace and a 9. They've been kind of quiet. Don't rip it in. They do go for an open anyhow. Ace Queen will jam for Kappa and take it down. Oh boy. Bad Day with a king and a 9 in the small blind. Kappa with an ace and a 7.
Oh. Yeah, a bit of a beat going.
Okay, let's get it back. Aziz. No, I can't find it. Aziz with an ace. Or that's a jack and a 10.
Yeah. Now we're just
I
saying,
really lost it.
we're just saying things now.
Shit. Yeah, it's like when you can get into the flow, sometimes it just flows, but like when you're trying to force it, it doesn't work.
Unless you're like actually a rapper.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure Kendrick can force it.
Yeah. A7 for pads will go for the all-in. Smilly with the king and the 4 will find the fold. Pads takes one down.
Did you hear anything about the Kendrick and Drake stuff?
I stayed away from it.
Yeah.
King 5 for pads. Yeah, fuck that noise. Yeah, like...
I got updated because Marley's boyfriend Glenn is a Kendrick fan.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like educating her on the lore and then she would tell us.
You know what? I like good music, and I think both of them make good music, and I think there's probably some personal stuff that everybody wants hidden. And I think Drake more than Kendrick. A lot more than Kendrick.
I think Drake a lot more than a handful of people, but like, you know, there's like...
Yeah, so Drake,
but also
Drake really wants
here's
his
the
shit
thing
hidden.
though.
As queens get one through pre.
I feel like Drake's shit has always been, like, everyone knows and everyone's been knowing.
And now it's just more vocalized.
Well, it's like one thing. It was years ago that he would like text Millie Bobby Brown? Do you know who that is?
No.
She's a young actress. She started acting on the show when she was like 12 or something. And so she's like a child, and she's going on talk shows being like, oh yeah, Drake and I text about boys. It's like, excuse me?
Honestly, the older I get, people are weird. Like, at my old age of 28 now.
Please.
As I reflect on all the years. No, like, I think there's actually, like, a lot of, like, sexual stuff that's, like, just hidden under the rug.
Yes.
And I think it's just being exposed now, and it's really weird. But, like, with that being said, it's like everybody. So, like...
It's like, concerning how much it happens.
Yeah. But, like, when you listen and analyze lyrics and stuff like that, for a lot of musicians, it's, like, so sexualized, or whatever you would say.
Yeah, and that's why when it's, like...
King 2 goes for the open? That's silly. No, Bad Day as the big stack.
It's just having fun.
Pads with an ace and a six is all in. We get a jam from Smilly with the king and the queen of the same suit and a call. We got a flip. We're looking for a king or a queen. We don't find it.
Nope.
Pads has a nice stack now. So back to sexualized lyrics.
Well, like quite literally, I feel like it's in discourse a lot when people like Taylor, because Taylor Swift has started writing, I think, more overtly like sexual as she's grown up. And there's a lot of discourse about that and whether that's okay, and like talking about like her younger fan base. And then that's when the conversation about how other artists have been doing it and for like how long. And how like it's literally always been a thing. And like kids, you think about the songs you sang when you were a kid.
And you didn't even know.
Exactly, because unless you're being told, kids don't go there.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. So that's why it's like when adults start sexualizing, it's like, yes, these things exist, but they're not the only interpretation of them, you know?
Yeah.
And so...
Whoa. We got an interesting check raised from Aziz with the queen and the six. I could back it up, but like, no, that was just interesting shit. It was like a 9-4-3 flop. There was no spades out there.
People just doing things?
No, it wasn't a 3 because Bad Day would have a pair. Whatever the fuck the flop was, Aziz says, I'm going to go for a check raise, and they take it down, which was cool to see. Jack 10 suited will rip it in and take it down pre.
Boom.
Whoa. Bad Day has a couple of aces.
Aces.
Aziz has a big stack on the button, so they're going to raise Queen 2-0. Bad Day will go for a small 3-bet, and Aziz will fold, I think. What size? 7 blinds is the size. Four bet. Let's see it.
Maybe someday you'll have to add a Red Dead cam.
No. We'll get a face cam and a kitty cam before we get a Red Dead cam. 8s for Smilly
GTA?
is all in. You're more likely to get a GTA cam, yep.
You can do it.
Aziz
You know, there's
has...
a lot of story in Red Dead.
Oh, I believe it.
I actually feel like there's too much sometimes. I'm like, why am I watching a movie? I want to play a game.
We got a flip here for Smilly's life. Oh, Pads finds the call with the 9 and the 5. What the fuck's going on here? Smilly's all in for their last 0.36 of a blind. That was horrific wording. Whatever. Aziz has the toppest of pairs.
Where's all the cats?
They're both in here.
Goose, Frank. Well, Frank's in the kennel.
Aziz goes for the small raise to 3.75 blinds.
Oh, there's my phone.
Pads gets out of the way. We're looking for an 8. We find a 3 and an ace. Bye-bye, Smilly. 4 remain. Bad Day has a couple of 4s. Kappa with an ace and a 9 will rip it all in. 4s hit the muck. Looks like the jam will get through pre. No real reason for Aziz to call here. 8 and a 6. All in dealer. Kappa with the jack in the 4 will find the fold. Ace and a 10 for pads. Oh no, there's a couple aces. Pads is in trouble here. Kappa might... Oh no, there's the all in. I was gonna say they might go for a small 3-bet, but no. They rip it all in. And pads. If I'm pads, I find the call.
Find the call.
No, we don't want it. We're gonna need to see another 10 dealer. A 10 dealer?
No 10.
Damn it. Pads is down to about 6 blinds.
But you don't want someone to lose with aces. That's just sad.
But I wanted pads to win, if I'm being honest.
Sorry, pads.
8-8 for Kappa. We'll go for the open pads. Do we play call or do we rip it in? We might just go to the flop here and play call. Queen, queen 3 flop. That's good enough for our king 3 and we're all in. Pads calls with about 25%. They're going to need a king or a 3. They don't find it. Just like that. Kappa knocks pads out. We're down to 3. 7 and a 2 for a Z's. Kappa with the king in the 5. Whoa, that was horrific. Look at this big raise with the 7-2. Sometimes you just gotta let it out and it sucks sometimes.
That off key.
8-7 and an A7.
It's funny.
Get a fold. Interesting. I thought we were gonna see a limp there.
A little sleepy.
6-7 suited for Kappa on the button. Raise.
What time did you wake up?
Like 8:30.
Frank was trying to wake me up at 6:30, and somehow I went back to sleep. So I don't know what happened there.
Bad day limps in the 6 and the 5. Aziz with the queen and the 2 will raise it on up. 3.5 blinds. 8? Riddle me that one.
Just for fun. 1 boob. 1 vertical boob.
Oh, yeah. He raises it to a vertical boob. And the 5-6 will eventually fold, but is thinking to himself, what the fuck is this sizing? Aziz takes it down. Ace and a king waiting patiently in the big. Aziz will raise the queen in the 4.
BB is also kind of vertical boob.
Yeah. B's do look like boobs. Just tilt your head to either way.
You have to deal with 8s as well.
8 and a jack for Aziz.
Maybe B's are butts.
Yeah, they kind of look like butts. 9-5 defends to the big. We get a queen 4-2 flop. We get a check bet fold and we're moving along. Bad day could check raise actually. Make it 4.5 blinds.
He's got
and let's
nothing.
backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw is check raising properties. You better believe it. Oh, he just folds like a wuss. Man, I fold there all the time too. But nonetheless. Queen 2 gets a walk. Queen and a 10 goes for a race. Aziz with the jack and the 7 of the same suit will play fold. Interesting. Ace and a queen, raise and take it. What do you think of Bad Day's image there? It's kind of like a transcendent human.
It looks like from a commercial about medication that affects your heart. And they're highlighting the heart.
To me, what it reminds me of is a lot of psychedelic art.
Yeah, that too. I don't know why my brain goes to...
Well, I kind of understand the
Yeah.
medication because it's the double helix.
Oh, yeah. It's some medication that affects your chromosomes. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know if we've invented that yet. As 8-7 goes for a Bluffsky here.
I am not in any science field, so I am in communications. someone give me the answer and I'll communicate that to people, but
Yeah.
I'm not finding the answer myself.
Eating a jack for Aziz will raise and take it down pretty.
I work in communications, but often when people ask me, I say insurance. And that's such a lie.
You do work in insurance.
But like, I didn't get hired to work in insurance. I got hired to work in communications for an insurance company.
But just a technicality.
Yeah, but it makes people think I'm like an insurance broker or something. And in reality, I know nothing about insurance.
Kappa needs some insurance here.
Well, shit, I just said I know nothing about it. You have a small
Bye-bye.
business? Just kidding.
Kappa's in trouble. Jack and a jack goes deep in the tank and we'll rip it all in.
For poker players who are professional,
Mm-hmm.
would they, like, register as a business?
I believe so.
Well, could hook them up with insurance. I would do none of it except get you to the right people if you're Canadian.
You know, Kappa's life might be saved here.
Ow.
That sounded like it hurt. Tooth onto a cup.
It actually didn't hurt.
Oh
that
no,
bad. It was
Kappa's
just
all
a
in.
reflex. All in?
93% for Aziz if he finds the call here. Just sweating an ace. Call! There's the call. Nicely done by Aziz, and we get a jack on the river.
Take it down.
Kappa's Gonzo Alonzo, and we're heads up here with Bad Day and Aziz. What do you think of Aziz potentially sitting on that car there?
He's never gonna watch this, is he?
Very unlikely.
This picture looks douchey.
Yeah, if we're being honest.
Very douchey.
I don't know what even
I
car that is, but I'm not impressed.
I can tell. It kind of looks like an older car.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell exactly what kind of person he is from that picture. And the name being his name, I assume.
I would assume so as well. They're a great poker player.
I think they have too big of an ego.
You know what? Okay, so here's the thing with egos. When you define it as sense of self, it's okay to have a big ego. The thing is, it depends what you do with your big ego. So, like, having a sense of self is very important.
Yes, but how often is that sense of self, like, a false sense of self because of...
Okay, so what if you've earned your sense of self being an inflated ego? So what if you're, like, dominant in your field of work? What if you're dominant when it comes to many different aspects of your life?
I think there's a difference between, like, confidence and ego. And I think confidence is important, you know, like, in your line of work when you're a professional.
But, it's sort of intertwined when you define it as your sense of self. So being confident in your sense of self is basically saying the same thing as, like, having an inflated ego.
I don't know if I necessarily agree.
Fire.
I would need to know the, like, exact definition of ego. But I feel like... Well, like, the thing with ego is that, like, it's not, like, necessarily a good thing. Well, and, like, I guess, like, confidence can be the same way. Like, you can be overly confident, and that comes from a false, again, like, I think, like, a false sense of self.
Yeah, it would. As we get a set versus straight draw and a flush draw. So this could be the end of the tournament as we're diving deep into egos. Okay, so, like, I don't want to use, like, the very common, like, big ego people. They were getting this all in. Aziz rip it all in. Bad Day calls very quickly.
Oh, 666.
And there's no flush draw, so Bad Day loses.
That's it.
Aziz gets the W.
That's it.
I'm thinking about egos right now. I just think when you're a good poker player, maybe it's okay to have a big ego.
I guess the question is, well, it's like when your ego makes you an asshole, like, should that be? Well, I think it's just
there's a fine line you can try to walk on or something like this. Like, I think about, like, Larry Bird. I don't know if you know much about him.
No.
You know he's a basketball player?
No.
Okay, well, he's this famous basketball player. He talked a lot of shit, but he fucking was amazing. And, like, he would tell you what he was gonna do before he did it, and, like, you just couldn't stop him. And the thing is, like, so what do you say about that? Like, he's really, really good. He's confident. He's got a huge sense of self, but, like, he's right. It's like he's just in his action. I think it's so weird because, like, when you hear him talk nowadays, it's not like he's, like, this big egoic guy, because he's an old man now. But, like, in his heyday. What?
I think you just touched on something important there with, like, referring to that he's an old man now. Because I think a lot of people seem to say as you get older, you're more sure, like, there's, like, of your sense of self. I think that's something, like...
That's interesting. So, like, as he got more older, it's like his ego turned into, like, the wise old man. He's, like, a sage now. Because, like, okay, so he's
and
not
I would say he's probably more himself now than he was back... Because, and I think that's just something about, like, human nature and, like, being young, and it's, like... I think when you're young, you want attention. You want to be... Well, like, you want to be that guy that's so good and can... Like, how cool is it if you can say what you're doing before you do it and, like, follow through every time?
Whenever I do it in poker, like, I only do this in my head. But, like, whenever I'm like, okay, this guy's just got, like, a pair of kings and, like, whatever, you know, I've got a better pair of kings. I'm gonna go for a big raise on the river. And then, like, he calls with the worst pair of kings. I'm like, fuck yeah! You feel like the man.
Yeah.
When you, like, call it out.
And, like, I think when you're playing and, you know, you do something good and you say to yourself, I'm so good.
Yeah.
I don't see that as having, like, an inflated ego. I see that as that confidence and that, like, it's like a reassurance to yourself. It's like, okay, so if you started then typing to everyone, I'm so good.
Yeah.
That's egotistical.
Yeah.
But just believing that you're good is confidence and believing in yourself. And is it having a strong ego?
So
Yeah.
That's interesting, as we relate it back to Aziz, who won the tournament.
Well, this all started just because I said he looks douchey.
But, like, is he just... No, what I'm trying to, like, argue here is, like, is he just, like... Does he have a strong ego? And, like, that might be a good thing. And, like, because he wasn't typing in the chat, like, hey, fuck you, I'm gonna win. It's like...
When it comes to poker, I think you could argue, yeah, like, it seems like he's very sure of himself, and he's a strong player. Talking about him as a person outside of that, because I don't think his picture, how we were, like, analyzing him is reflective of his poker playing, or who he is as a poker player, but more who he is as a...
But, okay, so what I'm trying to say is, like, what if he has a strong ego outside of poker? And what if it's, like, just a strong ego?
And he could, I guess what I'm getting at with my assumption of him, my totally unfair assessment that I wouldn't want somebody to make about me, is it's outside of poker, it's giving false sense of self. It's giving I am putting on an act for other people. And I think I get that. I don't know why, but it's like, okay, so there's like now we're getting into a fucking niche, but there's car guys like Cole.
Yeah.
That's a car guy.
So, yeah, this guy, Cole, he's, doesn't matter his relation to us. He knows cars.
He knows cars.
His
dad's a mechanic.
He's just a car guy.
And like he doesn't flaunt that. He just genuinely enjoys cars. Meanwhile, there's like people like that who are like, look at my car, it's so nice, and it's like, just have a nice car, bro.
In our local hometown, we have people known as truck guys. They have a name.
We're not gonna give the actual copyrighted name.
We'll just call them truck guys. And I don't even know if they're still the same way. That was just back in high school. I left the town. I don't really know.
It was still a thing when my younger sister, who is 5 years younger, was. Like, so, it carried... Oh, I think it was still a thing when your younger sister...
Okay, well,
even younger.
Some dudes have some dudes have trucks just so they could be a part of the trucks. The truck guys.
They all park in the spot together, and then they harass people as they walk by, because that's normalized.
And then you harass them back because they're truck guys.
I mean, you do.
I do, yeah.
I keep walking. Man.
Anyways, okay, so like I was gonna say about so like when we analyze Aziz's image here, as we're deep in the weeds, what do we think about Bad Day's image? So like whenever I looked at a lot of the psychedelic artwork, what I started to recognize was there's a lot of ego in the psychedelic community. So it's like the psychedelic community is all about dissolving your ego. But, like, truly, there's a whole lot of egotistical assholes in there who are like, you don't quite meet my standard because you haven't had the heroic dose.
Well, and there's something to be said about the fact that their name is actually Baddie.
So what does Baddie mean?
Well, like, okay, so I think usually people will use it like, she's a baddie, to, like, a hot woman.
Okay.
But baddie, I think, could just mean, like, I think it is also, like, something people use for, like, self-confidence. Like, oh, I'm a baddie. I can do this.
So it's like, baddie is like, I'm a baller. And not only am I a baller.
Usually it's IE, but I assume it's the same.
Mm-hmm. But they're like, okay, so another thing about the psychedelic community is they're like, once we dissolve our ego, we can see how we're all one. So then they, like, start to believe that they can, like, not read minds, but, like, you can, like, be intertwined with your...
it's interesting. They talk about, like, I don't know, like, breaking down the ego, but then they act egotistically by like, having that perspective of, like, yeah.
Yeah, there's this one guy in the poker community, I won't say his name, even though everybody knows about the situation. I'd say he's actually pretty good. He's a pretty good poker player. But he was, like, huge into psychedelics, and he had a little psychedelic community in Poker Stable, and he apparently made some people do some very questionable things with psychedelics. He's like, go see shamans and shit. I don't remember what's real.
Yeah, the thing with psychedelics and all that shit, it's like, you gotta let people do it in their own time and space, and just support them, and, like, talk, like, that doesn't mean you don't talk about your experience, but, like, that is not the time for peer pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I am a big peer pressure when it comes to psychedelics. I joke about it. Because, like, the thing is, like, whenever I peer pressure somebody to do psychedelics, it's more of a suggestion. I'm not actually, like, providing people with it.
Yeah, you're not.
Unless somebody's like, hey, let's do it.
You're not saying I have some mushrooms and, like, let's...
Yeah. And then, okay, here's the thing. Somebody at work asked me if I knew where to get them, and I was like, yeah. Then I sent them the link or whatever.
Well, I mean, they're so widely available now. You really just need to know. You
just gotta help out who wants to find them.
Yeah.
But anyways, Baddie. So Baddie's all about dissolving this psychedelic. No, Baddie's about dissolving the ego, but they're a baddie.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
It seems counterintuitive.
What do you think of Pads' image?
Well, I was thinking he's staring into my soul.
It's very
looks like,
intimidating.
It literally just looks like from a punk band.
I was gonna say it does look like it's some sort of artwork from an album cover.
Album cover or a movie poster. So, like, I actually just think it's somebody who's showing their interest through that, and we just, like, we could reverse image search it if we really want to.
What about Natrum? When you put a picture of yourself playing poker, I once had a person comment on it saying that it looks stupid.
I don't think it looks... I wouldn't say it looks stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's somebody who's jealous because they don't get to play live poker. I honestly think it makes you look more professional.
Yeah, because it's just like, hey, I play poker.
I think
Here
it's
I am on
I
the
think
poker
it's
site.
the equivalent of like having a headshot for like a business person, you know. And like for somebody to comment on that when it's like to have a picture of yourself playing poker, you need to be good enough to go to an event where someone's going to take a photo of you because you've gone and played live poker, and obviously that's not going to happen at that casino we went to.
Yeah.
So it's like he's obviously good enough that somebody wants to take his picture. So yeah, I'd be using that too.
Okay, one last image we'll analyze. Grayback. I gotta say, like, as a psychedelic explorer myself, the yin and the yang is just a very appropriate symbol.
I was just gonna say it's basic. I don't trust they know what it means.
I like it though.
And that's not me saying I know like exactly what it means, but that's why I don't use it.
Whenever I see it, it's like intertwined connectedness.
Well, I mean, like, visually, that's kind of what it's showing. That's like exactly what it's showing. That's funny.
Anyways, that's the end of the show, so if you made it all the way through, thanks for checking this bullshit out. Hopefully we'll see you in another video. Until then, adios, amigos.
And if you're any of the people we called douchey...
We don't... Well, maybe you mean
I
it.
called douchey.
Do you mean it?
I stand behind my opinion. And now I'm gonna get people in the comments.
Nobody really comments.
Now they will.
Now they will. Sure.
Here's the thing. People don't comment unless they want to fight. I'm giving them something to fight about.
There's this one person who is like, once you make it to the final table, it's not about dollars. It's all about getting that W Coupe title or whatever the fuck it was. And I was like, fuck yeah, I feel that energy.
Was he saying that to relate to you, or was he saying that to try and be like, don't worry about the dollars?
No, I always say that same sort of thing. I'm always just like, I don't care about the dollars. Like, look at them. They're at the bottom there.
You're not big enough to have the hate comments yet.
Yeah.
Only constructive criticism that might come off a little rude.
Yeah, and I love that.
Internet.
It's fucking funny.
We laugh.
Anyways, bye-bye.
Bye.